All right, in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the float property. So elements that seem to float on the right or left side of the browser window are often configured using the float property. The browser renders these elements using normal flow and then shifts them to either the right or the left as far as possible within their container. There is a way to use float right or float left. Float right places the elements on the right side of the browser window, and float left places them on the left. So if I go in here and I want to take my green box, so right now I've got a green box, a blue box, and a yellow box. And if I want to float all of these, so if I say float left on my green box, and let's go ahead and float all of them left. So I'm going to float left on my blue box, and I'm going to float left on my yellow box. What that does is it's going to take all of my items and float them on the left side of the screen. So this is floated left, which it already was left, right? But by adding it in, I've said I want it on the left side of the screen. Then it interrupts normal flow by me saying that I want the blue box to float left and the yellow block, so it's stacking them up. Now, if I had another box like a purple box and I floated it left, it would probably put it down here because it wouldn't have enough room to display next to the yellow box. So it just keeps wrapping those items if you do so. So let's go ahead and try it with a purple box and see what happens. So I'm going to make a new ID called purple box, and the background color is going to be purple or plum. And I'm going to float it to the left, but I'm going to make sure in my source code I put a div in there. And remember, our divs just hold our content. So this ID is going to equal purple box. I'm going to save it and refresh. So you can see that because my browser window is not big enough to fit my purple box is going down below. Now I have the ability to come in here and maybe I just want my purple box and my green box on here. So I'm going to cut that text out so I just have a green box and a purple box. So they're floating left, but I could, if I wanted my purple box to go onto the right, in my CSS, I could make my purple box, instead of floating left, I could float it right. And by doing that, it's going to put the purple box on the right side of the screen and the green box on the left side of the screen. Now, if I want to try to bring something, let's go ahead and see here. If I want to float both of them to the right, so let's go ahead and look at the source code. So I've got a green box. I'm going to go to my green box and I'm going to float it to the right instead of the left. And so what that's done is it's put in, because the green box appears first in my code, it puts that one on the right before the purple box. And then the purple box is floated to the right, but it's pushed up against the other one. So by floating to the left or to the right, we have the ability to take our div or our ID, our boxes, and we can put them on different sides of our screen. This gives us a variety of layout options when we're actually trying to lay out the elements from our wireframes onto our web pages.